I love great conversations. Hi, my name is Angel Jones. Thank you for joining me on 12-minute convos where I help you create a brand of your own unique, real self. Listen in as I have conversations with amazing people from all over the world. Good morning, Adam Gordon. How are you going on this wonderful, beautiful day?
Yeah, well, it is. It's beautiful here. I'm in Glasgow in Scotland, and I'm looking out my window down the River Clyde, and it's like glass, and the reflection of the bridges onto the river is beautiful. So it's unusually sunny here for this time of year.
Oh, I wonder if it's this Caribbean guy that's passing through with his voice.
I hope it is. I think it probably is. In which case, I'm going to have you on Skype more often.
That's great. Well, Adam, please do tell us which of your talents is responsible for us connecting at this time.
Which of my talents is responsible for us connecting at this time? So, does that mean what do I do, or what do I? Does that mean
it is a trick question? It is a trick question. Yeah. Well,
I think so.
Wait.
Okay, so
Yeah,
my first talent is my ability to hire really good people. Because when I was sitting here with smoke coming out my ears because Skype wasn't working, I managed to go and find somebody in my office who knows a lot more about these things than me, and he managed to get me connected. So I think my talent is the ability to find and hire people that are better than me.
Great talent, right?
I think so, yeah, hopefully.
Yeah, I mean, the world's only dedicated talent pipeline, creation software of that, you being that person makes sense.
I think so. I think we try to. So the thing is, to create a talent pipeline, you can do it in two ways. You can do it in a manual way, whereby you just keep a note in your mind on a spreadsheet somewhere else. You keep a note of all the people that you've met that you think are good and you'd like to work with in the future. But if you're a big company and you're hiring hundreds of people every month, then you can't work like that. You can't do it like that. So you need some sort of software to automate that process. We're just a small business, so there's 16 of us. And when I meet somebody that I think, wow, you're great and I'd like to work with you, I just remember that person, and I might put them onto a spreadsheet somewhere, but I tend to just remember that person and try to work out how can we do something together. And I'm doing it with two different people right now who I don't have a vacancy. I don't have a budget to hire them, but we're just talking through how do we get to work together, and how can we create a job together. So I do like to kind of be creative about how we go about doing that kind of thing.
Yeah, which is pretty fascinating. So if we had to peel back the onion, if you would, who did you learn that skill from? The skill of understanding that you need a team to support your vision, a great team.
I mean, I think it's been a bit of learning through failure. So I'm a bit of a control freak, and there's been a lot of times when I've taken on far too many things, and most of them have failed because I've not been able to dedicate myself. And so I think that maturity, I'm 40 years old, so I think by 40 years old I've now realized that there's a lot of people that are much better at certain things than I am. I'm good at probably one I've probably got two particular skills, and I think you need a lot of other people around you to be able to augment what you're trying to achieve. And I think it's just been a matter of time, really. Been kind of sometimes it's been getting things wrong, and sometimes it's just been the time taken to learn.
That's a big word, augment. I love it.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm a big believer in the whole is much bigger than the sum of its parts. And I'm a big believer in that. And I'm a big believer that if you get all the ingredients right, then you can move things very, very fast. So for a long time, when I left employment and started working for myself in 2009, I spent years running uphill on a treadmill into the wind, and not making life easy for myself. So I was doing a lot of selling and a lot of spending time on the road, shoe leather, going and seeing people without doing some more basic things around qualifying who are the best people to go and spend time with.
Well, wasn't
And
that so necessary for where you are today, though?
well, yeah, I mean, I don't look back with any regrets for sure. But if I knew what 10 years ago, if I knew what I know now, I could have saved myself a lot of time. And yeah, I'm a big believer in if you get the ingredients all right, and I think I know what the recipe is now as well. So if you
Yeah,
get the
sounds like
ingredients all
that.
right, then you can move much, much faster. And the other thing is, somebody said to me about 6 or 7 years ago, said, it's a shame that you don't have a technology product that underpins what you do, because if you did, you'd be able to move faster. And I didn't appreciate the significance of that until about 2.5 years ago, when I had an idea. I had an idea for a technology product, and I just thought, this is going to make things easier. But I hadn't really appreciated how much easier life was going to become until today. Um, and so I'm a big believer in getting great people around you and making best use of technology. And there's so many, great technologies out there that just haven't yet been they haven't yet been deployed for the purpose that you might want to use it for. So thinking creatively, and also thinking about thinking about technology is not actually that difficult. A lot of people who are not in technology, they think, oh, I'm not a software engineer, so this is going to be really complicated for me. But actually, it's not. There's a lot of things that are off the shelf that are ready made that you can make use of. And of course, this is coming from me, the guy who failed to make Skype work.
Self-reflection.
Exactly.
Oh, you're good. You're good. You're good. So, all right. Tell us one other thing, Adam, you've done consistently over the last 3 years.
I have used two skills in equal measure over the last 3 years. One is patience, and the other is tenacity. So I think I've been guilty of not being patient through almost all of my life, and I've wanted things to go faster and faster and faster. And I think sometimes you need to wait. And the tenacity bit is you need to keep doing. If you have belief in something, you need to keep doing it. And I think I think those two things, if entrepreneurs, if more entrepreneurs had patience and tenacity, less businesses would fail. And I think the reason why a lot of businesses fail is because the team is impatient, and they do not have the tenacity needed as well. I think that those two things are two things that I've done over the last 3 years that have really changed our business and changed the way that I work, and have really 2017's been a year of putting a lot of fine-tuning a lot of things, making a lot of things right, and 2018 is going to be an amazing year as a result.
Yeah, love it. How does that make you feel?
Extremely excited. Extremely excited. And so I'm spending, we're in Scotland, and I'm spending the whole of March in New York, because we've got a vast amount of interest in New York now, and well, in the USA, but in New York in particular. And, if you can make it there, you can make it anywhere. And, I'm taking my whole family to New York for the whole of March.
Wow.
We've got a little house in Brooklyn, and we're just going to basically try. My wife and I separately, she does something completely different, but separately, we're both just going to, transport we're going to transport our lives to New York, and we're both going to just work from New York, and we're just going to have the same life that we do here in Glasgow, except for we're going to do it in New York. And something else is, about 2017. So I turned 40 at the beginning of this year, and I think one thing that happened is as I came up to 40, I started thinking to myself, right, you've done a huge amount of training. You've been learning and learning and learning, and you've been soaking up stuff from other people, and you've been trying to find out how to do things. And what you need to appreciate is you're ready. You're ready to put your foot down, for the accelerator to go, put your foot down on the accelerator. And that's what I did at the start of this year. And it's been a great year, and 2018 is going to be an absolutely incredible year.
I love it. Amazing audience. We are live with Adam Gordon. Again, he is the CEO and co-founder at Candidate.ID. You could definitely connect with him. Where's the best place we should send people to follow up with you?
I think LinkedIn probably. I'm a big social media guy, so I'm easy to find on LinkedIn, Adam Gordon, Candidate.ID. I'm easy to find on Twitter. Just put in the same details. I'm on Facebook, and there's a couple of something else interesting that's happened over the last, I think, 18 months has been a lot of professional conversation that was happening on LinkedIn. So I think LinkedIn's still the best place to connect one-to-one, and I'm very happy to connect with anybody that wants to talk professionally. But something interesting that's happened is LinkedIn groups are not nearly as vibrant as they used to be, and a lot of people on LinkedIn think that means that the professional conversation is not as vibrant online, but it's transferred to Facebook. So that's something that's really interesting. So I'm in the world of talent acquisition, recruitment, and a lot of the conversations moved to Facebook, and Facebook groups are really, really vibrant. So while I don't really connect with people that I don't know as a Facebook friend, I'm in the groups on Facebook, Recruiters Online and Talent Product Plays, and I spend a lot of time here talking to people and finding out what they think about talent acquisition and recruitment marketing and the way that the world's moving.
Love it. Just like he's doing right now, right?
Precisely.
Well, Adam, let's switch gears for a moment now and let me invite you into my time machine that is surrounded with beautiful, warm, blue Caribbean water. Adam, what is your earliest childhood memory?
Wow. So it was in a house in Netherley in Glasgow, and I was outside in the back lane behind our house, and there was some bigger boys and girls, and I remember feeling excited about the fact that there was some bigger boys and girls out in the back lane, and I was out there, but it might have only been for a minute. But that's my earliest childhood memory. Although my mother says that when I was about 2 years old, she was ironing clothes, and in her mind, she didn't say this out loud, but in her mind, she thought to herself, what am I going to make for dinner? And then I looked at her and I said, mince. without her saying anything to me.
Yeah.
So that's something that I don't remember that, but my mother tells me about that, and she says we were connected. Our minds were connected. So
how old do you think you were when you were in the backyard laying down?
I think I was 3, because we moved from Glasgow to the south of England when I was about 3.5. So I think I was probably somewhere between 3 and 3.5.
Why do you think this memory is so clear?
I don't know, but I remember it in a kind of sepia color as well. You remember, what photographs from 19 sort of the late 70s look like?
Yeah.
And I remember it in that kind of shade. So I don't know, but it was going out. But that's interesting because it was going out of I was not in the house, I was not in the garden, I was out the back gate at the back of the house and in the back lane. And so it maybe I remember that because it was sort of my first effort at becoming independent.
Yeah, that's intriguing. Well, can I offer an interpretation to the thought picture you created in my mind?
Please.
I love the idea that you seem to be energized with individuals that surround you, understanding or beginning to understand who they are, what's interesting about them. It's like you lit up with people around you.
Yeah.
And I mean, it just connects to who you are today. Even what you're doing with talent acquisition, right? Even with your team, as you spoke about, the ability, even with connecting with people that, as you said, sometimes need to go on a spreadsheet in terms of who you work with in the future and what they bring to the table. It's just fascinating to see that as a child. And I like the coldness aspect of it because it is cold until these warm individuals come into your circle, isn't it?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I completely agree with that. And I think that surrounding yourself with people who, they can augment what you're trying to achieve, but at the same time, people that, and not necessarily people that agree with you on everything either.
Exactly right. Like the people who don't agree make it even better, right? Of course, they're bringing something of great value because of their disagreement.
Completely agree.
Yeah.
Completely agree with that. Yeah, absolutely.
If we fast forwarded to when you were 12, what was your favorite song?
Oh, I think it was Billy Joel. I think it was probably almost anything by Billy Joel. Yeah. Uptown Girl, Tell Her About It, something like that. That's cool. Billy Joel. I loved the Eagles. I loved Elton John. I loved lots of stuff from the 60s and 70s. But probably Billy Joel. Tell Her About It. Billy Joel song. Great song.
Love it. Well, it's amazing how you can connect things in conversations. It's just amazing that, in order to go to New York, you definitely had to tell her about it, right?
Well, yeah. I mean, absolutely. But that's funny because my wife, when my wife was 4 years old, she said to her father, I'm going to live in New York one day.
Wow.
And she's remembered that, her family have remembered that ever since. Wow. And so although we're not, moving wholesale to New York, we're going to go and live there for a month. And
I love it.
My wife and I got engaged in New York on the balcony of a hotel at about 6 o'clock in the morning.
Sweet.
And so we've been there a few times together. But this will be it. This is a professional trip, and so that actually makes it even more exciting, to be honest.
Exactly. Congratulations. Well done, Adam. All right, my friend, you're welcome. Well, we've arrived at our destination. It was definitely fun on the time machine. But before we get off of this time machine, there's a small declaration form. So it's yes or no, possibly a bit more. We're going to move pretty quickly here. Are you ready, Adam?
Yes.
Adam, have you chosen someone to pass on your skills to?
Have I chosen someone to pass on my skills to? No, but I can do very, very quickly.
Love it. Well, you said you're married.
I know who it could be. I know exactly who it could be. Mm. It's the guy who helped me to get Skype going.
There we go.
His name's Billy McDermott.
Love it. Got chills right there. Love it. All right. So you said you're married. All right. Do you have children?
Yes, 2.
Do you believe in God?
I don't know.
Do you have an inner circle of friends?
No.
Do you watch TV for more than 3 hours a day?
No.
How about 3 hours a week?
Yes.
What about screen time, the phone and or the computer? Is it more than 8 or less than 8 hours a day?
Less than 8.
If you had to share with us your own unique real statement, a statement that represents Adam Gordon, what would you say that is?
A statement?
Yeah.
Oh.
It could be a sentence.
Question. Yeah. Crazy question. Adam's patient and tenacious.
Love it. Yeah, no, I love it. Well, Adam, this has been a great pleasure. Before you leave, is there anything else you'd like to share with our amazing audience?
Yeah, I mean, I think I've got there's hundreds and hundreds of things. I'm going to pick one that I think is really important, and that is don't worry about things you can't control. If there's something that you're worried about that you can't do anything about, just put it's empty energy. Just put it to the side and think about the things you can do something about.
Love it. Adam Gordon, this was such a great pleasure. My friend, thank you for being on what is inspired by 12-Minute Convos with Angel Jones.
Thank you so much. It was very much a pleasure.
Thank you for being on 12-Minute Convos with Angel Jones. Stay tuned for more from our advertisers.
Diabetes is a mountain pandemic. It's a disease that's not acute but chronic. Similar to this rhyming method, I have simplified the definition, the signs and symptoms, and the complications of diabetes for both adults and children in my books, Poems for Patients, A Focus on Diabetes, and The ABCs of Diabetes for Children. These books are available on Amazon.com, and for more information, you can visit my website, poemsbyaj.com. That's poemsbyaj.com.